Saul. Today, I am joined by the ever wonderful and beautiful Santi Sherm.
Hello, hi.
And I am also joined by the also as wonderful and as beautiful Zorro.
Hello, lovely people. You are beautiful as
You
well.
are beautiful today. Now, Nebula Theatre Cast is going through a little bit of a cocoon. You know? It's entering a cocoon and it's going to hatch as a beautiful butterfly. Which basically means this is going to be the last cast in this style. Things are going to change, and that's okay. Change is good and for the better. Now, exactly those details aren't left up to me, it's left up to Plime. Plime is very busy today, but we still wanted to get this cast as we promised it today. So, round of applause for you guys for actually turning up. Thank you, on very short notice.
Yes, very much appreciated. We love you all. It wouldn't be possible without all of your support.
And basically, we are just gonna run this like normal, except that I will be the ones hosting. If you, I'm a little bit quiet apparently. Okay. Apparently, you guys want to hear me more. I have turned it up. If you hear a fan in the background, I am very sorry. The UK is having a heat wave right now, so you're gonna have to kind of put up with that. Otherwise, I'm going to like burn. So, with everything out of the way, so we're gonna put a matchup in here, and this will be kind of actually. Can I add to this? I can.
Would you look at that?
I'm also on Opera, so I don't get any of the ads. Currently ranking.
Ooh, very nice.
Bowser versus Evolto. Mario versus Kamen Rider. Submitted by Blue Heart, fan favourite villains of galactic proportions who can't seem to die. Bowser is the dad in this matchup, though you could argue Evolto is the father of Ryuga. So, I'm currently watching through Kamen Rider Build, which is where Evolto is the primary antagonist. I haven't got to Evolto yet, because I'm one episode in. I don't get it.
I looked into a little bit, and there is like a list of connections in like the Versus Connections compendium website, but they all seem very not like actually good connections. They kind of seem like those stretchy connections. Like power set wise, they both seem very powerful, and they both come back to life a lot. It seems like the biggest genuine connection I could find that makes sense is they seem to have like similar tones, if the connections are to be believed, where they're kind of like they can have their intimidating moments, but they're kind of more fun villains more than anything else. But in terms of like stories or themes, I couldn't really find anything after looking into it beyond just they're both similar powerhouses. Like I think maybe they held similar places in the series. Like I guess Volto's one of the big villains of Kamen Rider, maybe.
Build. He
Okay.
is the big boy. For context, Evolto is paired up with characters like Sin from Murder Drones. I don't really get this. Maybe I'll get it more as I watch Kamen Rider. But, so if you don't know how this works around here, because for some reason I didn't introduce that, tier lists run on a 1 to 5 rating that we all give. And Sherm, who is very good at working things out, tells us what the medium is, and that's where it gets placed. So, what are we ranking this?
Alright, this is an interesting one, because I've never really seen Kamen Rider, so... I'm going to just say, I mean, it sounds interesting. I'll put it at a neutral 3. Just not the best, but not terrible. Like this seems like a fine idea.
I don't.
Not to be harsh, but I don't really see like a reason to do it or like why it exists particularly. like not to be like mean out the gate, but like, I'm kind of feeling just a 1 just because like I don't
I would, yeah,
really see any reason to
I would also
pursue
put it
it.
as at a 1.
So that would even out to 1.6. So that'd be an okay.
So, our first matchup lands in okay. Next is Giovanni versus All for One. Soft comp with a focus on the adventure mangas would be ideal for Giovanni, the person who suggested this is. The dark side of the idealistic futures, they're two underground crime lords controlling empires countrywide, all with the goal of taking over the world while looking to reconnect with their only family, Silva and Yoshi, in the modern day. There's a little bit more, but I think we can kind of talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good matchup. It makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah. Like at first when I was just saw it, I was a little confused, but like when I looked more into like Giovanni's manga adaptation, it really does vibe a lot better thematically. Especially since Giovanni kind of like All for One is kind of like a big threat even after like the main plot of his like manga is over. He's kind of like always kind of around. So there's definitely just a lot of like that infamy of like big top dog villain trying to reconnect with their family, but also like you have like this legacy thing that both of them just kind of embodies, like the legacy of like these big crime organizations.
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about this one. I just don't really understand it dynamically.
I think the idea is that it's kind of an army fight, so you would include like the Nomus and like Shigaraki and stuff, and Giovanni would get like all of Team Rocket from the manga, like so like the legendary birds and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would include stuff like Team Rocket in the manga includes a lot more than the games. Like a couple gym leaders like Sabrina, Lieutenant Surge, Koga, and like most of the Elite Four were working for Giovanni, like in the manga.
Yeah.
So like it could be a pretty sizable army fight.
I get it. I don't know how I feel. I haven't seen My Hero. Is All for One really like an army fight type guy? Because I thought he could do a lot on his own.
Yeah, like I will say Oh, go ahead, sure.
I was gonna say he definitely can fight on his own, which a lot of his fights. I think this one in particular, a big part of the connective tissue is like comparing the Team Rocket to the League of Villains. So that's why that would kind of be part of the fight, because that's like where a lot of the connections come from. Whereas some other matchups, like I don't know why this is the only one that come into mind, but Green Goblin is more of a 1v1 kind of situation.
I guess. What are we ranking it?
It's like
it's probably a good for me. Like it seems like a perfectly solid, good matchup.
Yeah.
What about you, Zorro?
All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in good too, because like All for One, really, his main thing is like having a bunch of quirks stockpiled. So like, I think this is like one of his better options if you wanted to do an army fight. But kind of like what you were saying before, All for One isn't really like a kind of character that's like his army isn't like the main appeal when I think about him and his character.
That's fair. I'm gonna give it a 2 personally. I'm not so convinced.
Alright, that'll be that would still net it into good.
Are you like calculating these live? By the way, are you like have you got like a calculator up?
I mean, I do just because that's a little faster because my brain is fried.
So, next.
You put it in the okay.
Next, Kratos Arion from Tales of Symphonia versus Father Baldur from Bayonetta. There's a lot of thematics here, I'm not going to lie, but it seems to come down to dads that wield heavenly light powers that belong to exclusive organizations that influence balance over their worlds, and ended up gaining exclusive titles as the only eligible member with this status. I don't know anything about both.
I know a little bit about Kratos. So he's the father of Lloyd, who is the protagonist. but this isn't revealed until later. He joins your party, and then, well, I guess spoiler alert, but you have to be spoiled to understand why the matchup works. He actually ends up betraying you because I think another member of your party is the key to unlocking some seal. I don't understand the full context, but basically, uh, it's a the game has multiple endings, and he betrays you and leaves your party, and then you can either defeat him and he'll be a full antagonist, or you can get him to rejoin your party somehow. I think the idea behind this matchup is they're both kind of like heavenly, angelic dad villains of the protagonist, but they're kind of sort of redeemed. With Kratos, it's like there's the option for it to be redeemed, and in Bayonetta, he dies, but like in the second one, it makes it like sympathetic, where Bayonetta's kind of wants him to have been a good dad.
Yeah, I can kind of speak about the Bayonetta side of things since I have played the second one. So his whole shtick is that he was, the Umbrum Witches and the Lumen Sages were kind of like Romeos and Juliets at constant war. Baldur being, the Lumen Sage guy, ends up having a Romeo-Juliet-esque relationship that results in Bayonetta being born. War ensues. Due to some time-space shenanigans, he ends up in the second game where, he kind of portrays himself as a father, being happy to see his daughter. Then with the ending of that game, gets sent back to the first one where he believes that he lost his family, goes down the path of like wanting to wipe out the witches, causing him to be the antagonist in the first game. So I definitely like the connective tissues here. I'm not sure how much the debate goes, just because I'm not sure about Tales of the Abyss and how high it gets compared to Bayonetta, but like it definitely has the aesthetics and the thematics, and I'm really vibing with it.
I will say there is a very specific reason we shouldn't do this episode, which is that if we do an episode called Kratos versus Baldur, it's going to get really hard. That's going to get lost in the system very easily. No one's going to be able to find that video.
Yeah.
As a matchup, it seems fine. I'd probably give it a good.
I'll put it in
I'll
great.
go for a good.
All right, average is good.
All right, that should get us just a good again.
To throw you off, everybody at home, I'm going to start picking random matchups from this list. Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa, he's gone crazy with power!
Whoa.
Somebody stop him! Wabam!
I can't, he's a Britain.
Winter.
Oh,
he's smoking the track.
Winters versus Alan Wake. So in the normal life, what was it? Oh, despite having normal to be a bit more powerful weapons, they both make their ways into the unknown to save their wives and leave evil places behind. I get it. I don't know how much I vibe with it. Ethan, like, Alan Wake's whole thing is that... By the way, do you two know anything about Alan Wake or Ethan?
I know a good amount about both. I know a lot about Ethan, and I know a solid amount about Alan Wake.
I do not know either
of these
guys.
Ethan Winters is the protagonist of the new Resident Evil kind of... Not reboot, but the thing that got into more popularity today, Resident Evil 7 and 8.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like the new saga they're doing.
He's like the first-person guy.
He gets a message from his wife being like, stay away from me, who he thinks is dead. And he's like, she wants me to come pick her up. He enters the Baker household, who unknowingly have been infected by this girl called Evelyn, who is also on here, funny enough, and turned into these monsters called the Molded, right? A little bit of spoilers because I'm gonna have to spoil Resident Evil 8, so this is your warning as well. In the first encounter that he has against Mia, his wife is also infected, right? So the whole thing is like finding a cure for her. He actually dies within the first hour of the game, and he gets stomped on by Daddy Jack Baker, and becomes a molded. Molded are like, they're creatures made out of mold, basically, right? And you don't get that revelation until the next game, 8. So 7 ends with you saving your wife. You have a child called Rose, and she gets taken by these infected individuals and split into multiple parts that you have to get back together. Yeah. Alan Wake is a famous writer who was like he didn't want to be a celebrity, right? And after having a dream that kind of messed with him, like having an evil presence in it, him and his wife traveled to a place called Bright Falls. And in this cabin there was this typewriter. It's kind of weird to explain the typewriter, but basically the typewriter is a... it's like a... Oh, how do you explain it? It basically... the writing within it grants you to, like, rewrite the world and reality. And it's been a little bit of a while since I played Alan Wake, but I think he gets pissed off at his wife, types something, and she gets kidnapped. So he's got to go hunt it down.
I got it.
Yeah.
Alright. This one seems alright.
It's pretty neat. I understand the thematics. And they definitely have similar gear and weapons. Like, Alan has a good amount of stuff that he's able to do. Realistically, like, he has some guns and stuff, and Ethan also has some guns. It's not that bad, I'm not gonna lie. I quite like it.
I think the matchup's a bit... I don't think it quite does what I would want for either. I say, like, it makes a lot of sense thematically. Like, it's definitely not a matchup that makes no sense. I would say, like, for someone like Ethan... I think the fun part about Ethan is he's always fighting people that are, like, way stronger and bigger and tougher than him. So, like, him kind of fighting someone who's kind of visibly the same stature as him would be a little kind of uninteresting to me.
I mean...
Even, like, he has a bunch of esoteric stuff he can bust out, but I'd kind of want him to fight, like, someone that'd be, like, throwing Ethan around a little bit more.
He does fight, like, normal Jack and Marguerite, who are his size.
Well, I'm not talking about, like, size-wise. I'm saying, like, I'd want someone to, like, throw, like, Ethan through a wall and, like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Where would you put this?
I'd probably put it in, like... I'm kind of thinking I'll say it's okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go for good.
Well, I'll go good as well.
That should even out to good.
Cool. Where's he gonna stop?
Boop.
Where's he gonna stop? Does anybody know? Yell versus Super Creek. Undertale versus...
I saw this one. I thought it was kind of funny.
The kind and caring mothers with nothing but love for you and will get very mad if you are being bad. That's all the thematics that have been given. I haven't played or know anything about Muramasa.
Yeah, so Uma Musume, this character, so she's a little different in the game and anime. She's a little more generic. She's just kind of like... Her main characteristic is being, like, a loving mother figure who will, like, cut you a lot of slack and let you get away with a lot of stuff, but, like, is very supportive. In the manga, she has a little bit of a more, a different characterization where she has, like, these moments of, like, almost sinisterness. That's, like, played up for laughs. It's clearly not to be like she's actually malicious or anything. But it's kind of like her being overprotective will be like she will cheat sometimes, or she'll, like, play the villain role. I can kind of get where they're going for, like, thematically, aesthetically. This does have the Uma Muse problem where you can probably, like, calculate stats, but in terms of, like, an actual fight dynamic, I don't think she's one of the characters that has much to... There are other Uma Musume characters that definitely work in a versus context, but this is the one that's like, this one can't really do anything besides run good. So I'm not sure how this one would function.
I also question Why Toriel?
I think the idea is like they're overprotective to
I
like a
get not
debilitating.
for the matchup. I mean, why would we use Toriel?
Oh
She's
yeah,
not
I
like
agree.
in terms of Undertale characters to explore. Like I know we did Kara, but that was obviously a poll winner. Like there's some big ones and even smaller ones, characters like Asgo and Papyrus. Toriel doesn't really have a lot to talk about or provide much that's interesting for a fight. She just kind of does fire stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of her thing is like teaching the player to mercy.
Germ said
so like it's really
said it in chat.
Oh, go ahead.
No offense to Toriel, but she kind of just has everything Asgore does, but worse. Yeah, because Asgore also has the trident or the pitchfork or the
Yeah. So yeah, I won't use that to knock against the matchup in general, though. Yeah, that is a very fair point. You know what? I'm feeling a little generous for this one for some reason. I'll put it in great.
Great.
Why?
Like,
okay.
I don't know. It's like the best option I've heard for Toriel yet. Like
number 1.
I was also gonna put him. I can give you better matchups for Toriel later if you really want one.
So
I'm drooling over the fact that you gave it in great. My body doesn't know what to do. But
wow. Okay. I didn't think it was that bad.
I'm just like, so yeah, that's it. Okay.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry, I grabbed something. Ready for the wheel
again? I'm okay with that.
Big Boss versus Jango Fett. Characters that were great warriors of their era, leading high-power organizations to use their DNA for secret cloning projects. Each was survived by a specific clone that they viewed as a son who carried on their legacy and became an iconic legend in their own right. Both witnessed the death of their mentors during major wars, subsequently inherit their titles and mantles. Despite their immense skill making them highly coveted by powerful political organizations, both eventually chose to operate as independent mercenaries and bounty hunters.
Honestly, I really like this one.
Now, I don't remember Jango Fett too well specifically, but does he have anything, like, comparable to Big Boss's, like, disillusionment with the government and, like, his own, like, philosophy he grows over time?
I don't know. He there's a lot going on with him in spin-off novels and stuff. Like him, like his relationship with Boba gets a bit more explored from what I've seen. Jango is a blind spot for me, and I really wish he wasn't.
Yeah, like, is there maybe there's some disillusionment with the Mandalorian?
Yeah, there is some stuff with that. I don't know how much it's explored. I would say this would be a baller fight.
Oh yeah, it's like a debate and a fight. Like, I'm super down. I think it's debatable. I think their arsenals clashing would be. I assume Jango Fett has a arsenal somewhat comparable to Boba. Again, a bit of a blind spot.
So I can talk about a little bit of what he has. He has his normal blaster bolts, his jetpack, his rocket launchers, his flamethrowers. His gloves are electromagnetic, so he can stick to stuff. He's able to release virus-creating spores. He can fire poison darts. He can, this is probably one of the coolest things, he can release, like, interference waves to disable force fields and technology. He has acid darts, and his rockets are, like, described as, like, warheads.
Hell yeah.
I think this is really fun.
Oh, yeah.
I like the thematics of... I like the specific connection to Snake and Boba.
Yeah.
I do think, like, the core theme of the most legendary mercenaries from yesteryear is solid.
What were you ranking it?
Hey. I'll put it in great.
I will go for good.
I'll say okay. So I guess we landed
Okay.
good.
A lot of good today.
You know what? You know what time it is for me?
It's time
to
spin the wheel of fate. Round and round it goes. Where it lands, only Saul knows.
That is quite literally the only thing. Yondu versus... I'm blanking. John Silver. So, submitted by Mojo. There's not thematics attached to this, but I feel like I can personally...
Well, I know the thematics. I've thought about this matchup quite a few times.
Go ahead.
This matchup's basically like the space pirates, famous outlaws. Well, I guess not really famous, but like they're very cool space outlaws that take what's his name, Jim Hawkins and Star-Lord under their wing.
This is MCU, right?
This is MCU, yeah. At least that's the one I've seen for this matchup talked about. I've never seen it be comics before. Yeah, and then they like eventually like inspire the kid to like be the best version of himself. But they're bastards about it, so like they have like an antagonist relationship for a big portion of their lives.
My favorite Guardians character.
Well, I guess
in the movies. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say we could. I was just say like the thematics are very good, which is why I've looked into it before. The big sticking point for me is I really can't imagine the fight dynamic feeling.
Yeah,
good.
Yondu kind of one-shots people.
Like there's another matchup like Yondu versus Cad Bane. I don't like it because the thematics aren't as good. But I can at least see like the fight dynamic working better because Cad Bane's such like a legendary sharpshooter. I could see him avoiding the arrow. John Silver is a badass, but he's like much more like low-key combat-wise. Like he's got a really cool sword, he's got a really cool gun arm. But I have a really hard time imagining him like avoiding or meaningfully dealing with the arrow coming after him.
Yondu.
Yeah, because like, does Yondu have a lot of stuff besides the arrow that can like fill? Yeah.
He does use the arrow more, like, I guess, swinging combatively against, like, the eagle tentacle and stuff. But, primarily, it does kind of just pierce and one-shot people. There's a really cool shot in... So, my favourite part of all the Guardians movies, which there's a lot, right? Guardians movies are great. Fucking phenomenal series.
Oh, yeah.
Yondu, Rocket, and Groot killing all the people on the ship.
Oh, that's a great scene.
Him, like, when he, like, breaks the light above all the people who are running and he starts, like, picking them off one by one. Yeah, I struggle to imagine a fight dynamic. You could give Yondu the Ravengers, I guess. But, I don't know. What are we feeling?
This is an okay for me. I think, like, it's just... Unfortunately, a fight dynamic has to be good at the end of the day, so this can only be as good as okay it is, no matter how good the thematics are.
Yeah, like, this is one of those where it's like, I could see this really working in a crossover, not necessarily in, like, a versus animation.
Where are you putting it, Zorro?
Gosh. Like, it feels bad. I feel wrong putting in okay, but at the same time, the fight dynamic just isn't doing it. So yeah, I think okay is a good place for it.
Personally.
That will still round us down to okay. But, you know. A lot of good, a lot of okay.
We're not getting anything more. Okay.
Oh, there's definitely a couple here that'll rank pretty highly once we get to them, I'm sure.
Where's my sound effects? Firion versus Hohenheim.
Now this is an interesting case because this is a situation. Oh wait, sorry. Do you want to read
I was gonna read. I like read.
I'm sorry. I'm used to our old format.
Yeah,
where we just start talking immediately.
The people's messages, you know.
All right, sorry. Please continue.
Yeah, you really threw me off for a minute. Let me get the message back up because it left my phone. Thank you, device. Ageless, lonely people who are isolated from society and have growth into their apprentices, growing into a found family.
This is a very interesting matchup because to me, the matchup, as far as you would like judge matchups normally, like debate, thematics, fight, it's pretty much like a contender for one of Freeren's best in a genuinely very solid matchup. The problem is purely from a meta standpoint of like how much would we want to cover Hohenheim specifically out of any other FMA character.
Like Hohenheim. I really like his story. I like how his abandonment of Ed both is justified but also a fucked up act. He is one of the only two of the next one being this fucker over here, who are like genuine masters of alchemy, right? So I feel like he has a lot more talking points. Also, I feel like his fighting style compared to other alchemists, where he's a lot more reactive, right? Like Father tries to crush him in walls and he creates a door to open it. Father lifts him up with a pillar and he creates like stairs to get back down. He's a lot more of a reactionary defensive fighter, and I feel like the story that you could tell is great here. And I'm not gonna lie, I would rather us doing it over a death battle because we don't have to end it in a death.
That is very true. Plus, like
he's kind of pacifistic in nature when it's not, Father.
Yeah, that's a big reason why it wants to do an Ed matchup, because we can do one that doesn't end in a death either.
Yeah, plus Freeren is relatively chill as long as a demon isn't around. So
I've heard about Freeren, and from what everyone has been saying about it, I will watch it. I really like this. I'm gonna give it a 4, a great.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put it there too. Like, Freeren has a really good spread, and this is like one of the ones up there for it. Also, Sherm, I really like Hohenheim too. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me clarify myself. I love Hohenheim. I wasn't saying he's an ass character. I was just saying, like, compared to like Ed or Father or someone else
that's fair. Now. There are definitely more notable faces, but I think as far as us FMA characters go, like, he's definitely a pretty good choice.
Like, I love Hohenheim. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of my favorite things ever. Also, I'd say this is a good, which will round out to our first great.
Cool, first great. Yeah! Ready for the wheel again?
We have a third tier, finally.
God of War. A battle between the father of all gods and men of Olympus and the all-father of Asgard. Which one of these chief gods will remain supreme as the gods wage war in a battle of the cosmos, or will a certain ghost come in with a steel chair? I will be honest. I never like same series matchups, really. This one doesn't really interest me from what I've seen of both of them. I would rather just do normal Zeus versus Odin, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, or at least like find more appropriate opponents for them in other franchises.
Jim also said, sorry, Jim said, I guess isn't this very obvious since Kratos lost all of his God of War original series magic?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, considering the scaling of, like, the different God of Wars, like, is there even, like, are they even equivalent to each other? Yeah.
I will like to step in that it is genuinely very debatable. Like, this has been this matchup who would win has gone back and forth in the community for, like, ever since Ragnarok came out. Like, there's a lot of disagreements on who would win this fight. This is a very debatable matchup, in my opinion.
Guess. Do you have anything else to say?
All right.
I actually really like the sound of this matchup. I get it's a same series matchup, but it is like the Greek era of games and the Norse era of games are very separate, so it could still feel very interesting to compare them. I actually like this idea thematically because it does have a lot of the same thematics their mythology counterparts have. But both characters are written specifically in a way that gives them a lot of parallels to Kratos, which gives them their own unique parallels to each other, which I really like because Odin has all of his relationship with Thor and his sons versus Zeus's relationship with Kratos. There's genuinely a lot of stuff I really like about it. I think the debate is nuanced because there's a lot of statements that could go in either's direction for who would win. I think fight dynamic wise, they both have a lot of cool powers that'd be really cool to go into. I think thematically, there's a lot to dig into. I genuinely really think this is a very cool idea and one of the coolest ideas for each other that I know about. Um, Honestly, I kind of really like this idea. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff you could do with it.
What are you putting it at?
For me personally, this is kind of an
I'm
amazing.
putting it at a 1.
You have convinced me that it is better than a 1, but I'm still going to put it at an okay just because I haven't played either God of War's in its same series. I don't know. It doesn't really speak to me. But...
Okay, well, hear me out. Take your same series blinders off for a second.
They have
literally
very similar stories.
Why? Yeah, okay, so the only reason that would be bad... Okay, we're gonna get into a whole lot of conversations of the merits of the same series matchups. It's a 3. It's a good.
It deserves. JK, we love all matchups here. As you can see, there's a big split. Da, da,
yeah.
da, da.
Presenting the matchup.
Anyway, it's Koro Sensei versus Ida the Owl Lady. So, thing, and then you went
SpongeBob mode.
Yeah,
sorry.
Please. So laid back, carefree, and wise yet extremely powerful inhuman mentor figures to the protagonists, such protagonists that'll be hunted down in their world's authorities and become like family to the protags, with sad backstories including an old friend, a child they took in, and betrayal. They also started as regular people with great talent, but went through an event including betrayal by someone close to them that will change their lives forever. I've seen this more around recently. It seems pretty neat.
I like it. It's pretty good. I don't know if it's my favorite option for Ida, but I do like it. I do like it a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense and be very cool.
Yeah, like it's definitely not my favorite for Ida, but as far as like Ida matchups go, like it definitely has enough going for it that I wouldn't mind doing it.
Preferred for Ida. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I pretty vibe with a lot of Ida's options, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's just my inexperience with a lot of the other series involved. I think the personality clash here is great. I feel like Ida's magic is not too high of a scale to where it can't bounce off of Koro Sensei's speed and stuff, I feel like this has a really unique dynamic compared to other matchups. I'm personally gonna give it a great.
I will also give it a great.
I will put it... You know what? I'll put it at a great, just because, like... Yeah.
4s across the board.
Dun-na, dun-na. Bum 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 ba-na-na-na. Oh, I picked up the wrong one. General Zod versus General Zod. Okay.
Alright.
General Zod.
Yeah, sorry, I was laughing. Versus
Grand Regent Thrag. Or Thrag. I say Thrag because I'm a British posh cunt. I'll be honest. Like, come on now, this is easy to tell what the thematics are, but beings that are literally bred to battle, 2 cosmic commandos turned commanders, have conquered planet and orchestrated the genocide of entire races. They were exiled after their empires by empires that used to serve them without any questions. One is where their loyalties truly lied. P.S. It's actually genuinely insane how Throg makes Zod look like a good dad by comparison. I have gone back and forth on this one. Like, in my head of like, I like the thematics, It is just an invincible punchy brawly fight.
Is there any other version of Zod we could use
I
besides
mean,
the
do you want to
comics?
go for Injustice? I guess.
I'm just trying to think. Like, here's a lot of Zods. Some adaptations of comic characters are kind of cool and do their own thing. A lot of Zod adaptations are just Zod's like first story.
Yeah.
So like, I would love like an excuse to maybe cover the scaling of a different DC property than just the comics. But we would just cover a version of Zod that's just less interesting than comic Zod,
Yeah.
then there's like no
Zod
point.
also, like, he has some really cool stuff that I like about him. He has ancient Kryptonian armor, which is really cool. Which allows him to fight, like, he kind of already fights high scale, right? But he can do that a bit more in this. He has mind reading, he has heat vision, super senses, the super voice, super breath, flight, regeneration. The coolest thing that I've heard about this is the climax being a fight in the Phantom Zone, because Zod has the Phantom Zone projector. So them both getting pulled into the Phantom Zone and Zod freaking the fuck out because he's back here, you know? He's back in the He's back in the building again, and that's what causes his crash out where he kills Throg. The debate is obviously very obvious. It's like multiversal versus like Star, finite speed versus infinite speed. Zod is just way better than Throg. I don't mind like. I don't mind this one. It just. Doing like Invincible versus DC just kind of doesn't do anything for me personally.
Yeah, that's a similar issue I'm running into.
I also saw the last
like,
DCEU Zod is good. No, not really.
Well, I just asked because David Widow said DCEU Zod exists, which I didn't want to interrupt to ask about that, but I was like, is that a character people would want us to
really
cover?
Bad written.
I wouldn't stick my neck out for him.
I'm gonna give it an okay.
Like, as far as like DC versus Invincible goes, this is one of the better ones. But yeah, I can't put it above a good. Like, there's just better options for both.
I kind of want to give it an I guess that would round out to
Fair
okay.
enough. Damn it, I should have given it an I just like Zod. I like the climax of him crashing out in the, the arena. I feel like that is probably...
Like, you could definitely...
I'd say that would probably be one of my favourite moments.
Yeah, like, you could cook with it. I feel like we could cook harder with other options.
So, spin that mouse.
Someone said Thrag being star level is weird. Do you want us to lowball Thrag when he's fighting a DC character?
Thrag being star level is a little weird given how his story ends. Yeah, but being able to have the output to be able to destroy a star and, being able to tank the heat is two different things. Bana bana. Bum. Pepsi Man versus Sega Shiro.
Are these parents?
So I'm going to read it out for you. In the official Pepsi Man internet novel published in Japan, it's revealed that Pepsi Man is a transformation form that can be passed on and shared by multiple people, like a combination of Captain Falcon and Shazam. Some of these Pepsi Man include fathers who live in Japan with their families while defending the earth from bringing cold, refreshing Pepsi in any need of it. So yes. Well, this other guy is in 2020, a Sega-obsessed superfan was with everything about the video game company was introduced. Facing a mysterious masked fighter who claimed that Sega was out of date and no longer cool, he was victorious, only to learn that the fighter was his long-lost father, Segata. So this is Segata's son.
Why wouldn't we just do Pepsi Man versus Sega de Sanshiro?
I don't know.
Because if it sounds like Pepsi Man can like bring his powers onto other people, but like I
Plot twist: Pepsi Man is Sega de Sanshiro.
I don't really know
I would-
anything that Sega can do.
if I assume that he is just as cool as Sega de Sanshiro, and I give the matchup a little facelift by giving it that caveat, how much do I care about covering Pepsi Man and Sega de San? I guess this seems like I'd say it's probably just like using my highest caveats is probably good. Doing like a Sega de Sanshiro or a Pepsi
I'll
Man
give it an
episode
okay.
sounds fun.
Yeah, same.
Rounds up.
This is much more like conceptual than a lot of other matchups. Yeah, that would round down to okay since you two gave it
Ready?
okay and I said good.
Bana, bana, bana,
Player one.
Bana, 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 bana. Oh, Johnny Cage versus Johnny Joestar. So, let me get the message up. He says, two cocky and arrogant but also badass fighters who use powers related to their lineage against ancient evils but have traded blows with villains in their verse related to time. As for parenthood, when they got older, they would settle down with their blonde-haired wives and have daughters, although Joseph would also have a son and adopt a baby later.
All right, I actually am really fond of this one, just because you
Joseph.
kind of have the legacy thing. Yeah, Joseph Joestar. I was gonna say something like, I don't feel like being a dick, but anyway, I kind of like the dynamic here of like, especially if we consider both of their stories of like, you know, Johnny Cage and like the pre-1 timeline where like he starts off as arrogant, but then like Mortal Kombat X and 11, we kind of see him mature, care for his family, and Joseph kind of does the same thing. Like he's still kind of goofy, but like in parts 3 and 4, he's definitely a bit more wiser, a bit more responsible. But like we could still have them fight in their young stuff, just so we can have that very like young, arrogant energy and the just dynamic going back and forth. I think comparing like Johnny's green energy from like his Malayan.
Oh, yeah. One's called Johnny, one's called Joseph. I get them because there's also a Johnny in JoJo, so I thought you were referring to. I was going to get you back.
Oh yeah. We are not talking about the paraplegic today. But yeah, just comparing the Malaysian god slaying powers to like Haman would be a really cool interaction, and both of them are always punching against like weird shit above their weight class. So like, yeah, like honestly, like this is a strange case where it's like I have another preferred for Johnny Cage, but like as far as Joseph Joestar, I think this is my favorite for him.
I guess to get some of my, problems or confusions with it is I don't really know if it makes the best use for Joseph. I feel like Johnny is certainly, he's not like dumb or anything, but I don't really think his arsenal or his usual tricks has anything like new to offer Joseph. Johnny, for all intents and purposes, would just kind of be a brawler more or less in this fight. I don't really think he would play off of any of his tricks in an interesting way, like I would want for a Joseph matchup.
Can Joseph survive the ball breaking? Now that's it.
He thinks it was a ball breaking, but revealed that his clackers, it was actually his clackers that were there, and they took the hit instead.
Yeah,
wouldn't that just make it worse? Because you're just hitting the clackers
back, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Han Moon.
You're turning the clankers into nutcrackers.
Okay.
I would also give it an okay. It kind of just doesn't do what I would want. I mean, it's not like a bad, which is why it's an okay and not but it's like it doesn't really not my cup of tea, at least.
I really vibe with it. I'm gonna put it in gray, which will average to good.
Yes.
Wow, 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 wow. Sauron versus Mesgog. So I don't think this message had like a fully written thing. So basically the idea, there's a lot of thematics here, but it's average scientists who, after an accident, turn themselves into intelligent dinosaur-human hybrids, hell-bent on returning the world back to a prehistoric era. Their transformation and alternative personalities prevent them from getting close to their loved ones, which includes Mesgog's like adopted son, which is the parent thing here. There's a lot more
see
thematics here, with like I there's a lot more to go into. Sauron is very funny. He's actually named after Lord of the Rings Sauron because he considers himself to be the ultimate evil. While Mesgog is more like stoic and serious, and Sauron's like everybody probably knows about this at this point, but you know he's Spider-Man's like, you know, you can cure cancer with this, and he's like, I don't want to cure cancer, I want to make dinosaurs. From what I know about what these two are able to do, the fight dynamic seems pretty cool, right? So Sauron is obviously a big he big dinosaur person. So he can do a lot of swooping and attacking. I'm trying to think of what other specific powers he.
Both have psionic abilities,
Sauron
don't
has
they?
a form of hypnosis that he's able to do. He has fire breath as well. He is he has a hypnotic ability which requires direct eye contact, which he uses to like trick people, you know. Also, Mesgog is because people might not know, he is a Power Rangers villain. This one sounds really funny. And it sounds kind of fun. I like it.
What kind of powers does the Power Ranger villain do? Does he just kind of like do the Power Ranger punchy stuff?
Absorb other people's energy and like convert it. He can fire psionic blasts at people. He is able to absorb enough energy and transform into something called the Mes Monster, which is a more powerful version. He can forcefully teleport himself and teleport others. He can seal people away using his stuff. In his higher form and stuff, he has a lot more that he's able to do. It seems pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I could see the teleportation kind of helping like bridge between different settings between both series. The psionics clashing with like kind of like you know, his hypnosis and variety of like more primal ability sounds really cool. Honestly, I'm sold on the Dino Duel. I'll put it in. I'll put it in good.
I put in good as well.
This doesn't interest me in particular, but this could just be because I'm not a Power Rangers guy, and there's a lot of other Marvel characters I like to cover. So I'll abstain. That's a 3. So that's a good.
Who's ready to another edition of Saul Picks a Matchup?
Our next cast is just ranking all these good matchups in order.
Samine versus Ragio. A talk of the town. Everybody probably knows about this one. Don't.
Very Mad Hatter inflection you put on Talk of the Town.
I'll be auditioning when we do Alice versus Dorothy. Confirmed.
Spoilers, dude.
This one
keep that under wraps, man.
Community's not darling per se, but for context for people who might not be as versus community brain rotted, Good job. 2 versus shows released this matchup because Mother's Day happened. Had 2 completely different verdicts and kind of 2 completely different fights. Yeah, it's a very controversial matchup. I'm not a fan of it at all. Through all this discourse kind of made me realise how much I kind of dislike it. The problem is for people is that Ragio is this sadistic evil bitch who does horrible things throughout her series that people can't accept might have a chance to win a matchup, while Lusamine is the sweet little baby that everybody loves, you know? Like, Ragio is, of course, a lunatic, sadistic bitch, but we have had lunatic, sadistic people who have done actions similar to her within the community that, like, people haven't cared about as much, you know? It's a very weird line to draw with Ragio specifically, and I wonder if it's 2 factors. One, that she's against a Pokemon character, and the other sad factor of, well, not sad, but with communities, is obviously she is a woman. Yeah, there might be a little of an inherent misogyny towards it, but I have no interest in this matchup. I feel like it got killed for me in the discussions. I already was kind of not really caring for it. Yeah.
I would say kind of that the matchup makes sense and it has its own merits. My big thing is, like, Fan Battle did a lot of what I would even want to talk about with the matchup already. So it's kind of like, I don't see a lot of reason for us to do our specific spin on it. Obviously, there are some matchups that we can do that they've covered. Yeah, no. That's not like some weird rule. It's just a case where I wouldn't have any interestingly unique ideas.
Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty low on my. It's like good matchup, but just low on my priority.
Good matchup personally. I would give it an
Yeah. All right. I will say this for its merits, just because I am a fan of this matchup. I just like the iconics, and Lusamine isn't really like this. Really, just depends, because like Ultra Sun and Moon kind of absolve some of her heinous actions, but like the main meat of the thematics comes from her original depiction in Sun and Moon before they dialed her back. I will say I agree with Sherm on the fact that, you know, it's a really cool matchup, but like with two really well-known depictions right now, I don't think it would be best for us to cover it, but like outside that vacuum, I think I'd put it in great, just because despite the chaos, I still think it's a pretty cool matchup.
All right, that would even out to an okay.
Samus Xenomorphs. Samus Aran versus a Xenomorph hive. What happens when the best bounty hunter in the galaxy gets stranded on an alien world home to a massive Xenomorph hive? That is the question this matchup seeks to answer. So for those who know, this was on the Halloween poll. I think it got eliminated the first round it was in, but there is clearly interest from some members of the team. Xenomorphs would kind of have to be soft-comped here to even fucking maybe stand a little chance. I'm not a fan of this one. I've kind of been vocal about that.
Yeah. Although, I will say I am really fond of it. I will say, though, guys, you really stretching a bit of the motherhood for the themes here, but I'm allowing it. This is a really cool matchup. Like, Xenomorphs are definitely fighting an uphill battle considering the carnage that is Samus Aran, but like I think thematically it makes sense. It allows both to like be in their preferred environments of, like, you know, the Xenomorphs not being isolated into one entity, and, you know, Samus just doing what she does, fighting a species that's a danger to the world and wiping it off the face of existence. Definitely one of my favorite ideas that came out of the Halloween poll.
I really like the idea of, like, the ultimate Metroid versus the perfect organism. It's just, like, I think this is kind of, I feel like what this is gonna sound super dramatic, but like the kind of what versus animations is for. Just like these ultimate awesome scenarios that like would be extremely cool. I do like the thematics of both series. I think this is just like the way better version of Metroids versus Xenomorphs. I just like this a lot. I really
Where you guys
really
putting it?
really like it. I would give it an amazing.
You know what? I will
I will
also give it an amazing.
Okay. So that evens out to great.
I don't agree, but I can't. I can't over it.
Overruled.
How about that? My main problem is just I just feel like the animation is, oh, Xenomorphs aren't going to be able to do anything because realistically, how the fuck are they going to break through all of Samus's defenses and all of their weapons when they barely can, like, unless it's like, I mean, unless you want to animate like thousands on screen at a time, even a group of like 100 Xenomorphs can get taken down by like 5 people. That's my main issue with it.
I mean,
is like from an animation standpoint, I don't know how well we would be able to portray it because the stomp from the dynamic is so clear unless we are fucking comping the Xenomorphs, and even then, I don't know.
I mean, Samus gets her powers reset at the start of every game, so it wouldn't be too out of the ordinary.
We wouldn't be going into this by like, oh, we are taking Samus at the point where she gets reset by everything. We are taking her at a peak. That's what Nebula Theatre does. I don't think you could defend the animation by being like, I guess we're gonna put her in. It'd feel very sly to do that.
We could make it work.
Sure. Bottom on me, man. Don't need to talk about the semantics for this one. Everybody knows about it. Death Battle did it. Yeah. Bottom on me, man.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting question where do we rank this based on how good the matchup is or how much we would want to cover it?
Yeah, that
these
will
are two very different things
verdict.
with the fact that it's gotten a recent modern quality death battle. Because I love the matchup, but I have zero desire for us to tackle it.
I don't know
because it's
really,
already happened.
I have a lot of issues with the episode nowadays.
Yeah, like particularly, I feel like we could add to the conversation since, all respect to the Death Battle team, but some of their decisions on scaling and what included were a little weird. But like I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying like there were definitely a few weird decisions made. But on the other hand, like I don't know if I'd want to tackle it, especially since the controversy that aired when that episode hit was oh boy, I don't know if I personally would want to re-spark that discourse by tackling it.
Where are we putting it?
If we were to rank it by how much I want to do as a Nebula Theater, it would be an
All right, I won't go that harsh just because I like the matchup. I'll put it at good. Like I'll put it at good.
Okay. Even that's okay. Okay.
Okay.
No.
Earthbound hater.
Granny versus Mr. Peterson. Mr. Theodore Peterson, for those who know him on a first name basis. I guess I'm the Hello Neighbor person by researching the entire fucking franchise. So the idea of this, from what I've seen, is Granny is the grandmother of Slendrina and Mr. Peterson has 2 children. They are somewhat iconic mid-2010s indie horror antagonists of games that involve doing puzzles in a house. Contrasting with Granny, you have to break out of the house, while in Hello Neighbor, you have to break in. there's a lot going on with these two characters, I'm not gonna lie. With what they're able to do, their arsenals, their weapons. Granny is a little bit busted because of her support. Like, Slendrina can, like, manipulate a ton of stuff. It's crazy.
Is this better or worse than Granny
Worse to
versus
me.
Baldy?
Obviously to me, because
Okay.
I'm not gonna be an objective in, you know. I'm not gonna be like, it's objectively worse. I get what it's going for, thematic-wise, although I feel it's kind of lacking within their stories. Which is weird to say for these two.
Whose house would they be in?
Because he needs to have his house for his stuff to work. They do have a lot of abilities similar to each other. Like, Granny's entire bloodline is, like, curse and stuff. Which gives them their supernatural powers. She can, like, regenerate, she can fly, she can teleport. They have a bunch of army stuff, but, like, Granny is more suited for doing some sort of army stuff where you can use a lot of her troops and stuff, which Peterson doesn't really play off of. I don't know, I'm not a huge lover of this. I think it's on the lower end of matchups I like. For me, I would give it an okay. And do you two have anything you want to say about it?
I mean, I like the sound of it. I think the idea of, like, Granny's powers and forces being inserted into the Hello Neighbor house and Mr. Peterson has to, like, defend himself is an interesting fight dynamic from the sound of it. I'm not mad at it. I'd give it, like, a good. Sounds like a fun idea.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't really care for Hello Neighbor or, you know, like, I just don't know these characters. I'm going to put it at, I just do not care for it. I'm sure it's fine.
So we'll move from one Peterson to another Peterson, which is Peterson versus the Monster House. I'll be talking about this one because I've been a very recent shill to this, thanks to some very close friends. So, Mr. Peterson versus Constance Nebelcracker, or the Monster House, is the main kind of idea for the thematics is like they are like forced by supernatural events, like their houses contain supernatural events that relate to loss of families under tragic events. The individuals within those respective houses, being the older Nebelcracker, like the husband, right? They are like spied on by groups of kids who try to find out their secrets. They cling on to the past, not wanting to let go of that loss. And the neighbour's whole thing, the story of Hello Neighbour, funny enough, is about him trying to protect his son from the world by keeping him locked up after his other two children died. His other one child, sorry. And the house tries to protect the mean old man from all the kids, you know? This is a really cool...
Yeah.
So my big issue was, because thematically, this is a baller, right? What do you do for the fight?
Yeah.
Because Monster House doesn't really fight, does it? If you've seen the movie. So...
Yeah, it's more like a...
So...
Oh, I'm
Monster
sorry, I'll let
House
you explain
has
before I
a
chime in.
novelization and a video game. Crazy, the verse go... and, like, comics, which I think are done by, like, Dark Horse. So, the entire dynamic, basically, is Mr. Peterson inside the Monster House, exploring, trying to fight off the house, because every part of the house is alive, right? So, like, pipes pop up and try to, like, tie people up. Furnaces walk out and blast fire at you, which, like, Peterson has a bunch of tools and abilities he's able to do. Like, imagine if, like, a furnace was trying to burn him, and he goes into, like, his ghost form, opens a portal, and goes to the attic in the house, where he gets jumped by a bunch of lamps that burn him. There's so much cool stuff that you can do. But what can Peterson do against the Monster House itself? He has a crab mech. In Hello Engineer, he builds a giant crab mech to fight the cars. This can be called on command. and with a button press can kind of act remotely, but he can pilot it. That's when it's at its best. This can fire lasers. This can, like, stomp on people. There was a really cool scene that I had as an idea of the mech firing a laser that cuts the house in half, and then the two hands of the monster house pushing itself back together. Because it can, like, reform itself as long as it hasn't taken too much damage. I love this matchup. This is such a darling to me. Monster House has so much content to cover. This is like a baby matchup to me. I love it so much. I'm going to give it an amazing, but I know you two want, so.
Yeah. Like, I already said I don't care for Hello Neighbor, but, like, as far as Hello Neighbor's matchups go, this definitely would be a really cool episode to hit. So, like, I definitely would be open to doing this one. I'll put it at a good, just because it's really cool, just not my particular taste.
I think the story of the old man and Mr. Peterson being like neighbors and having like neighbor beef, and then like for whatever reason the neighbor goes into the monster house for some bullshit whatever reason. He escapes, but then the monster house starts attacking his house as like a climax is really fun. I think this is probably like a great for me, which would round it out to a great overall.
This is one of my
sounds like it'd be very fun.
I'm not gonna lie. There's so much funny stuff that you can do for the fight. Like the house is so, like the kids inside in the game have different sections that they do boss fights in, right? And they have pipes that can like BFR you into different parts of the house. Oh, it's so funny. Let's move on, shall we? Springtrap versus Evelyn. Now, I want to talk about this as someone who has made it very clear that he doesn't like Springtrap, right? Two antagonists along in an iconic horror world franchises who are the centre of morbid and horrid mysteries in which the victims at our incident are presented as antagonists, corrupted and turned into lifeless monsters. These incidents stem from the main desire to fill the void of a family and obsession with staying as they are forever, using their power for immortality. Despite this, they hold the obvious contrast of father of a family and daughter of a family being important to the themes of the matchup. There is so many themes to this, I can't begin to break it down, right? In terms of themes, this has a bunch going for it. I think it's one of my favourites for Springtrap, right? But to kind of understand it is that, you know, they are the centre of these incidents caused by using innocent people to fulfil their selfish desires, void of their want of a family, right? The fight here is very cool. Because, so Springtrap can fight against Lucas, Baker, Marguerite, and Jack because they are under Evelyn's control, right? So, imagine at the start of the fight, Afton would be very interested in the Molded because he would probably be able to hear about its immortality, right? So he would enter the Baker household, Evelyn would sense him and send the different people to attack. Jack offers a very physical fight, right? He is someone who can match Springtrap blow for blow, which I think is very interesting. Jack Baker versus Springtrap is obviously a matchup on its own, but I feel like it's used a lot better here, right? You can do even funny stuff of one of the sections of Resident Evil 7 takes place in the garage, where Jack drives his car at you. So I imagine Springtrap being like wrapped around the hood of the car as Jack fucking does donuts, as Springtrap is like climbing on, you know?
We do like the Asgore running over death reference.
Marguerite Baker is a lot more of a, like, she's a swarm fighter before she becomes her big monster form. And Lucas Baker is all about intelligence, so he would be able to show Afton's smarts and cunning, you know? Lucas can do, he has, like, places around the house, he has, like, cameras, he has bombs, he has traps that Afton would, like, stumble into. One of my favourite visuals is, so Springtrap has access to these things called the Twisted Animatronics, which are stronger animatronics than the main four, right? Lucas is playing FNAF 4. Afton would send the animatronics to sniff them out. So Linkus is playing for that 4, which is a really funny visual, right? But then...
Yeah.
Wait. So we have Evelyn playing FNAF 4, and then we have Springtrap playing Resident Evil.
So
I love that so much.
2 primary states. A older grandmother one where she's all withered and she can't fight, and the child one. The child one is able to do like summon molded, use psychic attacks, telekinesis. I would love a visual where Springtrap walks past the granny, right, version. And he obviously would dismiss it, you know? It's like, oh, it's a fucking old lady, who cares, right? And then I would love if after he's like beaten the 3 of them, he goes, oh, it's the and then gets attacked by Child Evelyn. Like, he has a moment where he puts everything together, but is obviously overwhelmed by the fight going on. Then you just get a cool fight between Afton trying to push through, use his, like, technology possession, his phantoms to scare Evelyn. Obviously, there's the contrast of, you know, guy famous for child killing. I love this. This is the only matchup for... I mean... I guess Springtrap versus Columbo. This is the only Springtrap matchup that I would like, because it's really thematic. I love what it goes into both. I love the fight because it's so unique. It shows off both of Afton's stealth, bronze, and brains. It is perfect to me. I would give it an amazing. Yeah, of course.
I do have a question about how Evelyn works. So in RE8, we see that some form of Evelyn still exists within like the hive mind of the mold of the planet. What would Afton have to do to
just kill
for it to be considered a win for him? Like, what is his?
Because that.
Okay, if the main body's killed, it's so like it's wrapped. It's done.
It's not even confirmed that she lives on through the molded. It's not like an entirely confirmed thing, right? So, and she has no physical interaction that she can do with the world, right? Her plans are not. So if Afton was able to kill her, he would win.
Okay.
I never thought I would see the day where you would put a Springtrap matchup into Amazing. But, like, after hearing that, like, yeah, I cannot argue. Like, the fact that they're both basically playing the equivalent of each other's games and then being able to, like, confront each other in one final clash, like, really does help put both of them in both a new yet familiar environment that plays to both of their strengths. You know what? I'm putting this in Amazing too.
The idea...
I have reservations about this, but I don't know what they are, so I guess I'll just abstain since I can't properly articulate my thoughts right now.
Amazing.
Take your cameras, boys.
Oh,
this may never happen again.
I think it'd be a bit petty for me to put in good or okay if I couldn't articulate why. I don't know. It seems fine, it's just not clicking with me for whatever reason.
And that's perfectly fair.
There's so many ideas that you can do with this that makes it so creative, you know? Springtrap falling for like a nail bomb trap and his Springlock to dig into him could provide some good horror visuals as well. Very, very fun. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. King Kong, this is Gamera.
Christmas.
The eighth wonder of the world, this is the guardian of the universe. Monsters are designated as guardians of humanity who have also an iconic rivalry with Godzilla. Kong has Zuko in Monsterverse and Kiko in even older films, and Gamera has Todo, who is the child/reincarnation of the original Gamera. To fit your theme question, Zorro.
Alright, I'll allow it for now.
So what's the appeal over Godzilla Gamera?
Because Godzilla kind of just like smacks Gamera
Oh, yes.
around and has been done before.
I kind of like this. I'm not overly big on kaiju fights, but I understand that is just a me thing at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like, personally, I could go into the thing, I could be nitpicky, but, like, as someone who is a connoisseur of kaiju fights, I will allow it. I think this is a pretty good one, although the thematics aren't particularly strong, but, like, for a giant monster fight, do people really go to a giant monster fight for the themes? No.
Yeah,
they go for it
Sometimes.
to see two giant monsters beat the shit out of each other.
Zorro, you said this for every kaiju fight. You're just like, it's a kaiju fight, so it's cool.
Kaiju fights are cool, and I am a man of simple needs.
I'm gonna give it an okay, because I don't really have much to say.
I'll put it in good. This is a solid kaiju fight.
I'll put in a good. Good feels fine. I can definitely... Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, like, this isn't one I'm like, oh, we need to happen, but, like, I'd vibe.
It's a very reasonable option for both if we wanted to cover either of them.
Yeah.
Lucifer versus Dracula, Supernatural versus Castlevania. Rebels against God and his supposed utopia. They swore to scorn the name of decree of God after their previous views of their radically shifted. They serve as nigh immortal overarching antagonists to a family of monster hunters and later their own half-human sons as they plan to destroy humanity for their perceived flaws and sins. This is pretty baller.
Covering Lucifer would be interesting. I feel like these are fairly different characters because Lucifer was never immortal, and his beef with God is a lot more like philosophical, whereas Dracula's just kind of mad at the tragedy that has plagued his life multiple times over, and so that's his beef with God, more or less. So the comparison doesn't quite click with me, but the wanting to kill humanity and being like the opposite of God is cool.
Supernatural. This is one of the cooler matchups of Dracula that I've heard about, especially because from what I know a little bit about Supernatural, thank you to my one of my teachers who loves it. This could be very interesting fight-wise and debate-wise. I think
fight-wise it'd be very cool.
Oh,
I think the coolest part would be like, I feel like they would have like a discussion mid-battle and talk about their beef with humanity and who's like more justified.
I know who.
That could be cool.
Correct. I'd give it a good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'll place it. Like, this would definitely be a cool way to get Lucifer on the show. Like, this is the best option I've heard for him. It's just, for a character like Dracula from Castlevania, like, there is a lot of good competition, so there's the question of, like, would we prioritize this over other Dracula matchups like Strahd von Zarovich or someone else?
I will say, for me, a very important deciding factor for what makes a good Dracula matchup is if they can have, like, a cool, like, dialogue off, because Dracula is famous for, like, his, like, some of his quotes, and Lucifer does have some pretty good lines in Supernatural, so I think, like, the banter feels like a small word for it, because it's more like the one-liner, like, posturing off would be really cool, so I'm kind of talking myself into a great.
Yeah, like waxing poetics.
What does that round up to?
Yeah.
What do you put it?
Zorro. Wait, what was everyone's ranks again? I didn't hear Zorro's.
2 goods and a great.
I think I said good.
You know what?
So that's good.
I'm not gonna jinx or anything. Nothing has been That's. And I have.
I've tried.
And it ended up getting fucking great. So.
We weren't united in our ums is the problem. We've been umming different things.
I've been umming the obvious.
Our tastes are too different.
Anyway.
Let's Sasori versus Vermilius. That'll annoy Zorro.
Zorro, should we be united?
Not that one. Let's not.
Okay.
I mean, we all like it, so sure. Let's put it.
My
as a
love
joke.
for the matchup is being tempted by my need to commit to the bit.
If you guys Father Bellows, I'll it.
Norman Bates versus Jack Torrance, Psycho versus The Shining. I like this I like this little thing that the submitter put. We all know that Jack is a father, but did you know that Norman is too? He had a child at the end of Psycho 4. If you didn't know, now you do. Both are iconic horror thriller villains from critically acclaimed films based on pre-existing pieces of literature who act as caretakers for an unassuming establishment who, on the surface, good men are driven mad by forces out of their control. They have a history of abusive parents which manifest into themselves. These are also a contrast in Jack Torrance dying evil, while Norman has his own redemption arc that are capped off with him having a child with a wish to settle down with a normal child and family. This would be very fun. Norman and Jack are very interesting characters. I think the fight dynamic would be carried by the environment, which is not a bad thing. I think it's actually unique in that department. And also, like, we're looking at two... Like, yeah, they have supernatural factors to them, but they're two very human characters at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, horror is a genre kind of affected by its environment, so having a matchup like this that really, like, leans into the environment would be really cool to explore and would set them apart from, like, slasher horror villains like Michael versus Jason, where, you know, the appeal is the killer. This one, it'd be, you know, it'd take a look of the more human side of horror matchups. I would also
very much like it if Norman is in the Overlook rather than Jack in the, you know... because the Overlook itself is its own antagonist and can really rile Norman up. Maybe what causes Norman to break and become his mother, as, you know, is seeing visions and stuff of his mother telling him to do these things, and these ghosts of the Overlook egging him on. Jack would probably hurl some horrible insults, and I mean straight up, like, terrible things at a man dressing as a woman. Jack would not. He is not the progressive man.
Oh, not
I'm
at
not gonna
all.
lie, you're not selling me on it so far.
It's an environmental slasher focused on these two, you know, human-level individuals who could kill each other basically in a couple of hits, right? It would be built up on the environment, the jump scares that you could have, probably a little sequence of, like, an axe versus a knife fight.
Yeah, plus, like, both of these people are terrible people, so, like, you know, it's not like we're glorifying the behavior. If I only have one small thing, and this is an easily fixable thing, is that the Jack from the movie adaptation, like, if we're going off of, like, the more famous Shining, is not as well handled as, like, the book source material, but that's just as easy as, like, focusing more on novel Jack than, like, movie Jack as far as characterizations go. Like,
timelines and adaptations get a bit weird. But from a character standpoint, I feel like we could focus on Jack from the novel, who's a lot more interesting to explore character-wise. Although, obviously, the movie has Jack Nicholson's betrayal. I really like this. I really like the environmental fight. Sherm, where are you putting it?
This just doesn't seem super interesting to me for, like, a Nebula theater. Like, analyzing them would be, like, cool, but it's just kind of like the fight tragically just isn't that appealing to me, so I'm just gonna give it an okay.
I'm gonna give it an amazing.
All right, that goes into good, great.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Sherm was talking about it. I thought it would get lower. Where will he stop?
It's math.
No.
Round up.
Knows. Let's just do it. Benos versus Father. We had a fan battle card, which you should go and watch because me and Sherm were debating it. If you don't know these two, rundown is man hiding as monster versus monster hiding as man, who have a very specific, plan to exterminate their very, very specific hatred of these species and kind of ascend almost. I can put it in a
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like I would. This is my fifth most wanted matchup of all time, so like my love for it is clear. I guess like my only concern is like as a Nebula
that's fine.
theater,
We're
it's
not really
probably
talking
going to
about
be
budget here.
expensive.
We put Springtrap versus Evelyn in Amazing, and that had like what, 4 characters? Five
On one
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Like 4 characters
maybe,
per
like-
per side,
Yeah, we don't really
if we
consider
count like
it.
the different animatronics.
Unless it's like,
Yeah, but this is like my
Yeah.
favorite Full Metal Alchemist idea by a long shot. Just
I give it
judging
a
purely
1.
by quality, I'd give it a 5. Right? I guess if we can give it a 1, I'll go with
All right.
1 if we're all going with 1.
Oh, okay. I guess we're doing the bit. We're committing to the bit. Normally, I would put this at 5, but I am a man of
So
the
obviously-
bit. We are putting it at
obvi-
1 for the bit.
It's an
Obviously, it's in the Amazing.
it's our first
I'm breaking the democracy.
All right.
It's there!
Way to
I
go.
mean, fair enough. Like,
Okay.
This is where it belongs.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream, so I'm like 5 seconds behind your actual thing. When I got lost in OK, I genuinely lost track of where it went. So I thought
a kindergarten teacher, so they are former assassins trying to escape their past lives, but they keep getting dragged back into that life. Also, they are improvisers that fight with anything and everything at their disposal. Very goofy characters, very fun. Also, Rita folds at the sight of hot guys, then kills said hot guys when they say cringe shit. Just thought I should put that in there. God, she wanna do one of she find one of that thing cool, which is my ability to say cringe shit. I really like it.
I like this idea a lot. I like the idea of how it like highlights the joy of just like living a simple job where you can see the work of your hardships come bear to fruition in front of you and prioritizing that over the glory of violence. I think that's a very, very compelling core
I
theme.
don't really know much
I think
about
that's very
both.
cool.
Sakamoto seems like something I would love. But just by what's been described and what I've learned through cultural osmosis, I'm going to give it a great.
I would also give it a great.
I don't know these characters, but it seems solid
Yeah,
enough.
we got
I
it.
will put it in great as well.
All right,
Are you ready
great
for the
across
next
the
bit?
board.
We got to come up with something. No, I'm joking.
I am. Why did you put Godzilla vs.
my bad.
Kong in great?
What was it? Oh, it's because I lost it.
I don't even know how you did that. You somehow swapped Gamera, Kong, and Sakamoto
Is it good?
versus
I-
the other one.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
your Folger versus Roberta from Black Lagoon. A wolf in sheep's clothing is an Indian used to describe a dangerous, hostile person. Blah blah blah. Yo is who is married to a man and agrees to help him raise a daughter to maintain her life as an assassin. And Roberta, the bloodhound of Florencia, a trained guerrilla mercenary who became the maid of the Love-Face family as she felt she was indebted.
According to Croat, he says that this is like the best Yor matchup that actually goes into like her actual like character journey and thematics.
Okay.
Huh, alright. Unfortunately, I don't know either of these two characters. I've been meaning to get into Spy Family, but I'll just I'll just default to what you guys think of it.
It seems like a cool fight. Like they're assassins. They'd be trying to assassinate each other. One has guns. One would. I think from what I've seen, like Roberto's a lot more grounded than yours, so that takes some points off of it for me. But Black Lagoon isn't like Kill Bill levels of grounded. Black Lagoon does have some funky, crazy stuff. It's probably a good for me.
Okay,
Just seems
I'll
good.
abstain, 'cause I don't
Good
know.
matchup.
Alright. We're good.
I guess it's just good. We good.
Karen Catapish versus Nicole Watson, SMG4 versus Gumball. Blue Collar Cat Mothers are three who would do almost anything to protect and one of the best fighters within their verse. From what I'm reading here is that they are both skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Apparently Karen was an assassin. Yeah, okay.
Normally, sometimes overly long connections can feel like unrelated connection slap, but these ones kind of make it sound like they are just like the same character. As someone who hasn't really seen SMG4, so I don't know what the differences would be. But in my brain now, they're kind of just like the same, except one's a little more assassin-y than martial arty.
Yeah, like it seems like the SMG4 version is like Yor and Nicole fused into one.
I don't really.
And I really like Nicole.
Come up in any of the episode. Oh, she came up in one that I researched. Feels kind of weird to compare Richard to WPNs, but apart from that, I get the idea. I'm gonna give it an okay. I can't really say much about it.
I mean, I would love to talk about Nicole, and it sounds like this thematically does everything I'd want for it. About the burdens of motherhood. I feel like I'm kind of in a great mood for this one.
And Zorro abstains.
No, I'm thinking. Like, honestly, I'm going to put it in okay just because I don't know the other character. And yeah, I'm just going to put it in okay.
Oh, that rounds to good.
Why does it keep... Okay, I see it. So,
it yearns for the okay
tier. Ketsukani versus Professor Callahan / Yokai. Japanese parents who lose their child to their old partner's science experiments, filling them with anger and bitterness, sending them on a mission related to said scientists to avenge their families, which is also a contrast. Yokai tries to kill Kari from revenge, but Cerebra tries to kill Clover to let her husband's legacy live on. Both twist villains, and the final challenges with the protagonists who relate to their struggles in grieving the loss of what's important to them. I get it. I haven't played Undertale Yellow. I really should. Callahan, it gets brought down by I don't think Callahan is an enjoyable character to talk about.
I think he's a little overhated. I think like he's not like a phenomenal villain or anything, but I think like he's a serviceable villain for his movie.
That was his mistake.
I think.
Yeah,
that's the Chef Rillis thing. I think that this matchup
also,
seems like it makes a lot of sense.
Like the stuff that he
based
can
on
do with the nanobots.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I could see a realistic setup for the fight because if she's trying to keep her husband's science alive, and this is the guy who kind of stole the nanobot technology. If he thinks he can use the other person's technology for it, then she has a clear motive to just go after him and have them fight.
Can do stuff like she can create dozens of bullets made out of magic. She can create a vortex. She can create force fields which can reflect attacks. She can summon flower pellets. She can paralyze people. So there's definitely a cool dynamic here. I'm a little bit... It's held back by me from just how much I just don't like Callahan as a character, but I would still give it a good.
Yeah.
Based on everything I'm hearing, it kind of sounds like, as far as matchups go, it does everything I'd want in a matchup. I'm kind of giving it a great.
Yeah, I'm putting it in great too. Like,
all right, that rounds to great then. I don't know if you came up with this or if this is a pre-existing matchup, but it's good.
Yes. Good job. You had a great matchup.
Oh, Callahan's in the TV show?
Ida Cawthorne versus Crow from
maybe it is.
Ruby. Two nonchalant old parental figures to the main characters that are burdened with a curse which affects their old and new relationships. Both were at odds with their sister for years, but eventually reconciled with them. They were on very opposed sides to their authorities. All of this is an incredible battle of found mother versus birth father. It's okay.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, this is like a really good option for Ida. Although I will say that I get a lot of the thematics, although some of it isn't really played off. Like, they talk about how Crow is cursed with this bird transformation and how it's a horrible thing. But honestly, like, he doesn't really suffer from it, per se. He just has the ability
the curse
to turn
comparison would more be his bad luck.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Play off of his sword stuff.
Yeah, she has Owlbert the staff, and even if we're not using the staff, I think just like her raw physical durability, she could like probably block a sword strike with her arm. Not like every time, but she could like grab the sword or like block it with wings or something.
Yeah, plus like she's got those owl beast talons and like her hooked hand, so like there could be some cool melee play with it.
I like the tone of it a lot. I think Crow's the best part of Ruby, personally. For me, this is an amazing matchup.
I am going to put this in great, same as the other Ida matchup, just because they're kind of like on the same wavelength as me, because Ida has like a lot of good options.
Okay. Alright, that brings it down to a good.
Don't mind me. Rosalina versus Eon. Eon of Skylanders. So, the idea, as I understand it, with the themes, two protectors and watchers of the cosmos whose lives start off normal until an unexpected incident happens which catapulted them into the roles you see them in today. However, the loss of someone they cared from far back in the past resulted them creating a found family where they take on a parental caretaker role, and with their families they protect machines that keep the cosmos safe from dark sorcerers that wish for cosmic domination. There's a lot more thematics to that I know of. This is such a baller matchup to me. I'm not gonna lie, I love it.
What does the fight dynamic look like?
Does, if that helps.
Like, yeah, I know he should probably be able to summon Skylanders.
Do a lot himself. So
I just imagine, like, I can't envision what the fight looks like on like either side, so really, Rosalina or Eon.
To in one of the novels, he slams his staff into the ground and creates like a big shockwave, which is really cool. He is able to like redirect, I believe, and absorb attacks. He can manipulate like vines to wrap around people. He like can summon stuff like I think he can use like the bone dragon and stuff, and he can make people asleep. He's able to pin people down and make them into transform them into like butterflies. He is
okay.
I think he can use his staff to steal items and powers from stuff, which could obviously create a very cool dynamic with Rosalina by stealing her power-ups. Yeah.
Interesting. I would really like a scene in this one where, like, Rosalina, like, because, you know, in kind of some of the media, including her, she's able to, like, summon her own Lumas to help fight. So I'd love just, like, a scene of her, like, summoning a few Lumas, and then Eon, like, uses one of his spells to turn them into sheep. That would be fun, and then Rosalina would just be like, what the heck? What? Why? But yeah,
Yeah, so
I really
I
like
can
this
read you all
one.
the
I
fight
think it does
potential.
great for both.
No, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry, didn't mean to
Rosalina,
interrupt.
she has basic abilities like levitation, telekinesis, size manipulation, and teleportation. Though she is capable of granting force fields and calling down meteors. However, her most iconic ability is to command over Lunarum and the power to summon them during aid. Lunas are able to shoot star bits and transform themselves into a variety of things such as launch stars, galaxies, and apparently more simple things like trees. Although when obviously there's enough of them together, they can restore a universe. She has 99 to 1,100 extra lives and the ability to turn into a ghost after death, in which any of the Lunas can bring back by touching her ghost. The abilities obviously don't just come from herself, as she has powerful items from the mainline games, such as elemental manipulation with fire and ice, unorthodox methods of attacking with boomerangs and super bells, invincibility with a superstar and invincibility leaf, invisibility and intangibility, a ton more. Eon, due to being a portal master, he can create portals and teleport people with ease. And when given his portal powers, he can do things like look into a past that no longer exists. He is able to send people through time, use spells to create rifts in time, see the future, turn things to dust through age manipulation or by snapping his fingers, resist stuff like his timeline being rewritten. He has more conventional stuff like energy, clones, plants, undoing and inflicting transmutation, force fields, restoring items to their optimum state with a flash, creating new beings, using telekinesis, nullifying attacks, healing all allies, motion locking opponents. Yeah, that's a lot of what he's able to do.
When you said like a past that no longer exists, now I'm just imagining a scene where he goes into like a past that doesn't exist of Rosalina not being abducted by the space observatory and living a normal life with normal people, and that just really getting to
I do not remember
Rosalina.
Eon doing all of this
Like,
in any of the games. Yeah, that's where the shows and the novels come in. There's a lot of extended Skylander media, like having a scene.
oh yeah.
I was gonna.
Like having a like
No,
imagine the
keep talking.
visuals of them fighting around the cosmic observatory, firing, like firebolts and Eon redirected into spells. Rosalina like turning giant and trying to swat. Trying to swat Eon away before he puts up a barrier, before teleporting them into Skylands. There's so many cool things you could do with this fight.
Oh yeah, honestly, this is an amazing for me.
Sure.
I was gonna put it in okay, but you've talked me into saying it's good.
Cool. We only have
it's a great
left. Oh no. Let's talk about Olimar versus Chibi Robo. This one didn't really come with much information, but I feel like it's a given. Little guys. Olimar's
They are little.
and Olimar does fuck.
And they are guys.
And you know what? After all he went through, he deserves it. So a little bit more. The idea is small protagonists of lesser known Nintendo game franchises whose games involve the exploration of relatively supersized environments, right? They go through a lot of their mechanics and their so the Olimar is like, so you might be wondering about the parent connection. Olimar is obviously, his entire thing is helping his family and thinking of them as his tiniest on PNF 404. And Chibi Robo specifically was made to serve families.
Oh yeah, I wasn't questioning it. I'm very familiar with Olimar at the very least.
Post that I found. The battle could start within a house similar to Hero's Hideaway, beginning with Olimar mistaking Chibi Robo for another common enemy / treasure to connect. Combat can make use of Olimar's different Pikmin types and Chibi Robo's whip attacks and Chibi gears. The latter half may take the fight outside, with Chibi Robo's super form being utilised. Although Olimar can technically speak, not leaving much room for dialogue, but he could comment on CR's attacks and come up with strategies mid-fight. Nevertheless, there's still potential for some entertaining non-verbal interactions outside of fighting. Possible finishers include Olimar's Mega rushing straight to Chibi Robo with Moss and freezing it solid with an Ice Pikmin before breaking it apart with Rock and Purple, and Chibi Robo performing a Ziplash that shatters Olimar's helmet. Obviously, that's more in a death battle sense.
I've
Yeah.
heard some other matchups for Olimar are a little more like thematic, or maybe even not thematic, more thematically like not thematically like tone wise, more cogent. This one kind of seems like it starts and ends at they are small in a big world and they are both video games, so they're I mean there's a fight dynamic because they are two video game characters that can fight. But I don't know if anything about it is particularly appealing to me,
starting as
at
a
least.
normal Pikmin, like, haha, this is just a normal fight before it goes outside, and Chibi Robo transitions into a Pikmin boss. You get both worlds of, oh, Olimar, you know, he's fighting someone his size, which doesn't really happen often in Pikmin. I mean, it does here and there, but it's not common. To, oh, this guy's just like a boss fight, which I think is really cool, because you can appease both crowds.
Yeah. Plus, like, both of these characters and their franchises are just kind of cozy and like charming in their own way. I know Pikmin, it can be a lot more messed up at times, but like the general vibes that, you know, just cozy collecting stuff. Like, I think this matchup certainly has like a charm that not many others have quite like it. I'm gonna put it in great.
It's an okay. It's an okay for me, so that rounds out to good.
Last three. All for One again versus Toshiro Suzuki from Mob Psycho 100. So, two all-powerful supervillain crime lords who are aiming to take over the world using the very powers they've stolen and stored for many years, willing to use anyone and everyone to take their throne for the world to themselves. I really like this one. I need to watch Mob Psycho. It's on the list, people. And I mean, like, actually on the list now. I think this is good thematically. The fight is really cool.
I also really like this.
By a post. This would ultimately be a fight of both tactics and raw strength. I closed the reading. As they both will try and take each other down as effectively as possible, while also attempting to be the one in control. Their cold demeanours would carry over into their banter, how they both would monologue about how the world belongs to them. Torchia would eventually get fed up with All For One's entire sick as he realised he was the more mature one of the two, expressing that All For One that being purely evil isn't the way for someone to live their life. They can both try and touch each other to steal each other's powers, but a rejection ultimately happens as neither are able to, shocking them both. There'd be an attempt on All For One to end forcefully, giving Tochito a quirk that would actively harm him, but thanks to his Esper physiology, it would be rejected as his body is built to prevent spirit-like beings such as vestiges from invading. Tochito could throw Guy and chuck him through debris like All For One did with All Might. He can use his clones to throw All For One off. The warping quirk would enable All For One to teleport to Cheeto from a far distance directly in front of him. Telekinesis clash. Yet another clash with air cannon. The climax could be a punch clash with a prime All For One that used his ultimate quirk on his right arm and 100% Tochito. Massive amount of destruction. Very great.
This is just kind of like a great matchup. Like, it's really good. It's been around for a while. I think ever since Mob Psycho was animated. It's only become better over time as we learn more about All For One. I think it's either great or amazing for me.
I'm going to go great, too. Although I could be convinced to amazing if I knew more about Mob Psycho 101.
It's a great anime. So that rounds out to it being
I'm
great.
pleasantly surprised with this cast, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, a lot of good.
Most of these agreements agreeable.
Batman versus, apologies for my pronunciation, El Chapulín Colorado. El Chapulín Colorado is a father of two in the Cartoon Network sequel show, and Adam West Batman acts like a father figure. I need to try and get the connections because the guy kind of went more into his personal attachment, and it's like, that doesn't really, like, I appreciate it, but it doesn't really help us, you know?
Yeah.
It speaks to me, at least. I see it. I'm like, I can see. Honestly, this kind of explains it better than
I
if
guess,
it was just
but
the
someone
connections,
like
at least
in
from
a
my
matchup
perspective.
doesn't particularly, sell me on it. Both of these characters have formed parts of childhood of many people. Yeah, he's like one of the biggest characters over here, and another Adam. Yeah. I guess like the slapstick would be funny, and they are important to people. I like Adam West Batman.
Yeah. I guess my question would be, would we do this version of Batman over other versions of Batman?
I'm fine with doing Adam West
I
Batman.
agree with Zorro. I just kind of don't know.
Yeah, like
I mean, if we want to do like Batman versus Toei Spider-Man, for example, I think that's a fun matchup. El
I guess
Chapulin, Colorado. Interesting.
that's true. I don't know. Like this would be like a good option for like a Batman run back, but I'm not really like when I think of like Batman matchups, this isn't like the
Yeah.
one that like pops into my head.
Liked a bit more personally of like the thematics.
Yeah.
I like the idea of covering both of these guys, so it's. I don't know if it would them fighting specifically would be what we do, but I do like.
Okay, where are we putting this?
The idea of covering both of them.
I give it an
It's okay.
I'll say it's good, so we can put in okay. I would like to learn more about potential
yeah, he seems interesting.
Chapulin,
and
Colorado
that's all
matchups.
the time we have today. Thank you guys for tuning in to the
Dang.
Yeah. Sasori versus man, you guys got 2 matchups in. When you asked, I thought that we didn't have any matchups in. I would have put one in. Yeah,
we
yeah,
snuck it
next
into
time,
like the actual
if we ever do a format like this again, I'm not letting that slide. Because it's unfair.
Why not?
Yeah, but that was
you could have. We asked you if you wanted to.
You two had already done it. I thought it was even playing field for everyone. Not we have our twos, and you kind of left that information out.
I mean, it was an open forum. Like I could assume you would have saw us when you went to pull the thumbnails.
So, okay.
Oh, well, I apologize.
Talk about why you like this one and why I'm going to give it a 1.
Okay. If we're just going to play that game, let me just...
I'm
read up my little bit.
He's just ribbing us.
I can rib back. All right. I'll just read off the little blur. 2 characters who fight using puppets made from real people. Relius, the heartless scientist who turned his wife and daughter into puppets for the sake of his research, and led his son Clover towards the same path he took. Sasori, the reserved artist, seeing his puppets as work of art, and making his puppets in order to feel their loving embrace again. While both have done horrifying things for their work, their opposing philosophies would make for great exploration of their relationships with their families, and how that reflects their creations. When both take center stage, which puppet master will end up pulling the other strings? I really like this one, just because, the kind of idea of, like, puppets really are great. I like the dynamic of, like, Sasori kind of seeing his things as creations, and while he's, like, turning them into puppets, he still has, like, this kind of respect for them. Where Relius, he's just heartless bastard. Just sees them as lifeless machines, kind of Shao Tucker energy of just like experimenting on his family with no real regards for morals, just more focus on what he can do. It would be really cool just to see like their different puppets styles interact. Both have range options with their different puppets, as well as close range options with Relius having his other like smaller fist gadgets to kind of go up close. While Sasori, being a living puppet himself, is also equipped like weapons in him, like blades, poison bombs, flamethrowers. We could have Sasori's 100 puppets dancing around while Relius is just kind of like going with his own puppet. definitely a bit more of a niche matchup compared to like others within BlazBlue and Naruto, but I think like this is the best for both of them, and I just adore it so much.
Okay. I'm gonna give
Yeah,
it
seems
another
like a
look.
good idea. I okay, I'd say it's good.
Yeah, I'll put it in great. Just I'll admit it's not like an amazing matchup, but I love it,
That rounds out to good.
Well,
and I'm okay
that
with
has
that.
been the last of this format for Nebula Theatre Cast for a good while.
We
No,
will
I'm
never
assuming
talk about your
we'll
matchups
talk
again.
about your ideas.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like stuff like this where we like go down balance banter style and potential tier lists, it still will be one of the many kind of like segments we'll have on cast going forward. So it's not the last time you'll see it, but probably the last time for a bit to see like an entire cast dedicated to it. We'll probably do smaller versions of this as segments in the future. So keep an eye out for
Keep an
that.
eye out on the new format as Plowing
Yeah.
will be talking about it.
Just so that we put something in. Can we put Toriel versus
No,
Sweet?
I think it.
Fuck, what's her name? Sweet something in because that's like probably the worst one since there's not even a fight you can
No,
pretend that to make.
no.
I mean, I don't want to
Bye,
like single that one
everybody.
out and just bully it just because we